Virgo rising, Virgo ascendant. These two mean the same thing. What this means is that someone has Virgo on their first house cusp in their natal chart. So let's discuss what this means. What does it mean when someone has Virgo rising and they have Virgo ascendant? Let's talk about it. All right. So when you have Virgo rising, Mercury is your ruling planet. You have to look at the sign and house your natal Mercury is in, because that tells you a lot about your life and purpose. All right. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules Virgo. Okay. And when it comes to your ruling planet, it's very important to study and analyze your ruling planet and the sign and house that it's in, because it plays a huge part in your life, how you approach life, and what your purpose goes on to be in life. So like, say, for example, you have your Mercury in Sagittarius in the ninth house. That's very important. And that's something that you should place emphasis on your life to study, because that has a lot to do with the career that you choose, how you choose to live your life, and really what your purpose is in life. All right. So that's what you need to take away from that. Virgo rising people are drawn towards serving and helping others, and they approach life with the intention to always be focusing on self-improvement. All right. So our rising sign tells us the type of things that we're drawn towards. So Virgo rising people are drawn towards Virgo-like things, which has to do with serving others and helping others. And our rising sign tells us our approach to life and our intention when it comes to life. So Virgo rising people approach life with the intention to always be focusing on self-improvement and making themselves better, because that's what Virgo is essentially about: self-improvement, serving others, helping others. These people tend to come off as picky, negative, and critical unintentionally to others. People think they try too hard to appear perfect and be perfect. Their outward image is perfect somewhat and refined, all right? So our rising sign tells us how we tend to come off to others unintentionally. It's like we don't try to come off this way, but we come off this way unintentionally. So Virgo energy on the downside is associated with being picky, negative, and critical, like you're fussy and you just always got something negative to say. So when you have this placement, this is what people say about you, and it rubs you the wrong way. Like if people say that about you, like you're picky and you're negative and critical, it will actually offend you, because that's actually not how you want to come off. But it tends to be your autopilot, and you accidentally can come off that way sometimes, and people think that you try too hard to appear and be perfect, when really that's not the case. It's just naturally your outward image is somewhat perfect. You put a lot of emphasis on refining your image and your appearance, right? So that's what makes people think that you come off as perfect. And these people tend to take very good care of their image and their appearance, and they care a lot about refining how they look. Virgo rising people are very health-oriented people, and health-related matters tend to rule their lives. They're usually in health-related, communication, and service-oriented careers. Okay, so Virgo rising people, as we know, Virgo has to do with being health oriented. Okay, so Virgo rising people are very health oriented. They're usually in health oriented related careers, communication careers, and service oriented careers where they serve others and provide services to others. Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jay-Z are said to have this placement. Now, it's very obvious to see how Steve Jobs had this in so many different ways, because you can tell like he had that Virgo-like energy, because he was just so particular about the way that he did things, and he was such a smart man, such a smart man, and he dedicated his life to serving people. That's what the whole image behind Apple, what the whole mission behind Apple was, is to serve the public and give them products that they're just gonna fall in love with and can add so much value to their lives, right? So you can definitely see how that played out with Steve Jobs. And unfortunately, on the downside, he was known for dying from prostate cancer, and it's somewhat, and unfortunately, that's what his demise was, being connected to such a deadly, illness and stuff like that. But on the bright side, you can absolutely see that with Steve Jobs, because he was so detail oriented, he was so smart, and he was so service oriented, and he just dedicated his life to serving the public, helping people, and giving value to people, which is really what Virgo represents. Mark Zuckerberg, it's very obvious to see how Mark Zuckerberg has this placement as well, because Mark Zuckerberg, he played a big part in providing a huge service to people as well. Facebook is a service that he put together to help to give to humanity, to serve humanity as well. And not only that, you can see, like, as far as his image, it's funny because people have a conspiracy theory that he's actually not a real person, because he just seems, his image just seems too refined. It's like he wears the same shirt every day. Like I think he wears like a black shirt and just jeans every single day. Like it's just so weird, and it's like his image is like people can't believe it. Like something's off about this dude. Like he just looks too neat, too refined. Is this guy really a human? You know, and you can just tell, like there's just so many ways. Like he was a very smart man as well. And when you look at Jay-Z, it's very obvious that Jay-Z has this as well. He was in a communication related career, which has to do with rapping. And it's funny because one of his famous quotes was, people say to me, oh, you changed, like I worked this hard to stay the same. And that's one of his most famous quotes, meaning basically like, look, I have zero intentions on staying the same. I dedicate my life towards always changing and improving myself and being a better person every single day. Why would I be the same person that I was yesterday or 20 years ago? All right. So with those three, in so many different ways, you can see how they had Virgo rising. And that's pretty much everything you need to know. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Take care.